So anyhow, without getting too amorphous with the description of all of this, we thought it could be helpful to go through a couple passages in this, some selected excerpts to kind of just demonstrate some thoughts, if nothing else, and then we can elaborate on those a little bit, if that's all right with y'all. So, let me find these highlights. All right. Boom. So, let's see.
While he's trying to find those, for any man or woman listening to this, this is a great book to take a gander at, to listen in audio format or to get in your hand, use a highlighter, and read through. I know that the title is The Way of the Superior Man, but ladies, if you read this, you might have a better understanding of the way certain things should go. And we'll leave it there for now.
Heck yeah. Okay, so this is a part of the introduction. This book is a guide for a specific kind of newly evolving man. This man is unabashedly masculine. He is purposeful, confident, and directed, living his chosen way of life with deep integrity and humor. And he is sensitive, spontaneous, spiritually alive, with a heart commitment to discovering and living his deepest truth. This kind of man is totally turned on by the feminine. He loves to take his woman sexually, to ravish her, but not in some old-style macho fashion. Rather, he wants to ravish her with so much love she is vanished, they both vanish in the fullness of loving itself. He's dedicated to incarnating love on this earth through his work and his sexuality, and he does so as a free man, bound neither by outer convention nor inner cowardice. This newly evolving man is not a scared bully posturing like some King Kong in charge of the universe, nor is he a new age wimp, all spineless, smiley, and starry-eyed. He has embraced both his inner masculine and feminine, and he no longer holds on to either of them. He doesn't need to be right all the time, nor does he need to be always safe, cooperative, and sharing like an androgynous Mr. Nice Guy. He simply lives from his deepest core, fearlessly giving his gifts, feeling through the fleeting moment into the openness of existence, totally committed to magnifying love. So, the reason this is such an important stage-setting moment is because historically, and even more currently, I feel there has been these ever narrow boxes placed around people, right? This idea of toxic masculinity, right? Which perhaps is an overreaction to some of the overly patriarchal, bullying, King Kong type of energy that has existed and has steered a lot of things.
Yep.
We ain't denying that.
Nope.
But at no point in time should we then punish or chastise a balance of that masculine energy, because there is always going to be a difference between it and feminine energy, and what David Dita alludes to with this 50-50 split, where you find this androgynous man. I know some people may take that a little bit triggering. That's cool if that's the case. You know, hey, either continue to listen and expand your viewpoints or hop off, sign off, toodaloo. But basically, this kind of just sets the stage for what I think is really the ideal balance of what masculine energy is. It's only toxic if it's on that King Kong shit, right? But too often what I have noticed is that this idea of the toxic masculinity has been leveraged to basically go out and snipe a bunch of people and cancel them, even if what they're doing maybe isn't actually toxic masculinity. It maybe is just a difference of opinion that does not fall strictly in line with this 50-50 culture that isn't even really 50-50, but is more so like, all right, there was an imbalance in favor of the patriarchy. Now let's create a new imbalance in favor of the matriarchy. And once again, some people may disagree with this commentary being delivered at this very moment. That's all right. This is just my perspective, and what do I know? But when you then pair all these things with this cancel culture that we have, when you pair it with this instant gratification, gamification of life, of serious things like intimacy, like relationships, with stuff like the Tinders, the Bumbles, you know, the Hinges, all these different apps, right? I think Hinge might be one for gay people.
No, that's Grindr.
That's Grindr. Oh, okay.
Hinge is the app that I got kicked off of.
Okay. Bad. But basically, it seems to be that what has really happened as a result is we have people afraid to just be who they are. What you have as an example, men back in the day, you might go to work, there might be a coworker there. Maybe she has a particularly nice dress on that day, or she did something new with her hair, and there's this natural propensity to just want to say, hey, you look really beautiful today. That's a very nice dress. I love what you've done with your hair. It looks great. Back in the day, that was cool. You could do that. And that wasn't harassment. It's not catcalling. It's not whistling. It's not groping. It's not grabbing for the pussy, uninvited, right? But now, that same behavior can get somebody fired.
Does get people fired.
Whereas before, how would there then, and even if this was platonic, somebody could tell you look nice and they're not trying to fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, even though Steve Harvey says otherwise, men and women can be friends.
They can be friends and they can admire the differences about each other. A man can have a friend that's a woman and appreciate her feminine energy and not want to start a family with her. And vice versa, a woman can appreciate the masculine aspects of her friends and not want to carry his child.
You know, not everything's, primarily about procreating.
You feel me? And I've been talking a lot, but I wanted to set it up for people, and I feel like I got us to really where the crux of this discussion is, from my viewpoint of people need to understand there are traits about women, typically, generally speaking, feminine traits, because you cannot be a woman to carry these traits as well, and vice versa about the masculine energies that are really being snuffed out if people are not careful about understanding there's always going to be some degree of tension. There's always going to be a push-pull, a counterbalancing force between masculine and feminine energies, and that's not something we should be afraid of, but it should be something we should lean into, because ultimately there's a balance. That yin and yang is created in that mixing, in that interaction of the two energies.